Hey guys, welcome to MMA Maverick. And today's the day we all been waiting for. It's been 6 weeks in the last UFC event, and I know I couldn't be more excited for tonight. So I got a couple of plays for you guys, just last minute bets I literally placed like 30 minutes ago. So I wanted to go over some of my bets and my logic behind them and what we're looking at tonight. So first bet, money. We have a couple of money lines. I'm going to be betting money lines on the bets that are, um, you know, above what I bet per unit. So basically, I divide, my budget by the number of fights, and if it's more than that amount, I bet in money line, and then rest of them I parlay so we can get some value. So first bet we got Patty Pimblett money line. Minus 245. I placed one unit on it. I think Patty is too big. I think he's too skilled for Justin. Justin has power, but Justin is getting old. Justin is, I think, showing signs of slowing down. Justin from 3 years ago or 2 years ago would murder Patty, but I think this is the perfect moment. And I think it's one of those, you know, everything is aligning perfectly for Patty to be a champ. And, I just think that even if it goes to decision, Patty will win. They're really pushing this guy. So, I think Patty will probably submit Justin. I think he'll be able to assert his size and, dominate Justin, kind of like what happened with Michael Chandler. So I think Patty will win. Next, we have Moneyline Sean O'Malley at minus 218. So Sean O'Malley is longer. He's a better striker than Sang Yadong. And I think his wrestling is good enough where Sang Yadong won't be able to do anything. Like, do you guys really see Sang Yadong wrestling the fuck out of Sean O'Malley and keeping him down? I don't. So I think that Sean O'Malley will keep distance. He will, box Sean O'Malley's head in. Sean O'Malley will box his head in and keep distance with kicks, steeps, and will cruise to an easy decision. So, we placed money line on Sean O'Malley. Now, next we got Modestas Boscas, which I think minus 142 is good value for him because Modestas has been resurging, has been really good in the last couple of fights, and Nikita Krylov hasn't. Nikita Krylov lost, you know, last fight. He lost. His chin is gone. Like he is pretty much finished. Like his chin is done. He doesn't have the doesn't have the skills that he had a few years ago. He's slower. That 2 year layoff for Nikita Krylov really ruined him because now he's slower. He gave Magomed Ankalaev problems years ago, but now he's slower. He's getting knocked out by Dominic Reyes of the world. So you know, I think this might be a bad night for Nikita Krylov. Modestas Buskas might get a knockout, but I placed a straight money line, so we don't play. Next, we got Charles Johnson. Charles Johnson is one of those guys that are like under the radar and that is very skilled and very good, and not a lot of people, he was an underdog in a lot of his fights, but it's always get value on him. But now he's a favorite, minus 180, and I'm still riding with him. I think him against Alex Perez, I think he got this. I think um, straight line money bet on him, not to think much, uh, is the way to go. Minus 180, put a couple of dollars on him, and I think he'll fight for your money and he'll win. Next, so this fight was my underdog prediction, basically. The Michael Johnson was plus money during the week. Now he's minus 112. It's like pick him now, but you can see a lot more money came in on him on Michael Johnson because people seen that he has hands, and this is all looking like one of those Alex Hernandez fights where he gets like fraud check. First one, Donald Cerrone, if you guys remember, a few years ago, that's when he got fraud check for the first time. Alex Hernandez has been good lately, but I think Michael Johnson has all the weapons to like nullify him. He has better boxing, faster hands. He can defend takedown, he can match his pressure. So I think Michael Johnson will win, and that's like my underdog pick. Next we got Josh Hockett money line. Josh Hockett, I watched Denzel Freeman fight his first fight in UFC, and it was so bad. Like this man is just happy trading light kicks. He's not pushing any pace. He's not going forward. He's not like he looked really bad. He just like barely scraped by in his last fight. While Josh Hawkett, he has knockout power. He's a decent wrestler. He takes people down. Like he's gonna go for it. And I think Denzel Freeman is gonna be lunch money for him. Like I think Josh Hawkett got this in the bag. I think it'll be it'll be fairly easy if he doesn't knock him out. It'll be pretty dominant decision. Very very bad fight Denzel Freeman had last night. I can't put my money on him. So we're going Josh Hawkett. Next, we got Moneyline, Jean Silva. So Jean Silva, minus 240, minus 245. Arnold Allen is good, but Jean Silva just like everything Arnold Allen is good at, Jean Silva is better at. He has more power, he has, better striking. Arnold Allen has a chin, but I think Jean Silva has like, one of probably most power in that division. So this might be the moment his chin gets cracked. So I got Jean Silva. I think it's gonna be a good comeback fight for him. So yeah, Jean Silva money line. Not much to think or say about that. Um, Most people would agree with me. Next we got some parlays. So a couple of parlays that I think are gonna hit, and that I think have decent value. So first parlay is the obvious one. We got Sean O'Malley and Patty Pimblett. Plus 105. I think that's a nice money, and I think these are two pretty certain fights. Like, as much as people try to convince you otherwise, and tell you that they're not, that there's chances for Gaethje and for Sangedong. I think both Patty and Sean are like level above, and I think that this is a pretty straightforward fight. You don't have to think much about this one. Plus 105. Um, and we should hit. Next, we got a three pick parlay. So this is we got Ty Miller, Natalia Silva, and Valdo Cortez Acosta. These are the fighters that are levels above their competition, and Ty Miller first fight of the this could ruin it or start it, but he's the first fight, so he's gonna be way better than Fugit. And Natalia Silva, I think is better than Rose, especially at this point. Then Valdo is better than Derek Lewis. All of these three fighters have tools to win this game, to win their matches pretty comfortably at plus 100. We got a three pick parlay, so I think this one should hit. Next, we got Modestas Boscas and Charles Johnson, combining some of those people that we bet on, earlier that we are pretty confident about. Modestas Boscas, again, think in a better form, better chin, better strength against Krylov, and then Charles Johnson, who is skilled, more skilled ever than Perez. So I think this would also be plus 165, decent value. You know, this one should be pretty straightforward too. Then we have Ty Miller and Josh Hokit. This is like a parlay minus 156. Not that much value on it, but this is like a parlay to start off the card. I think these two are pretty confident about this. Ty Miller, both Josh and Josh Hokit, they are better than their opposition, better wrestling, better striking. Like, I think these two are pretty safe bets to start. And that shows it minus 156. Not much value, but this is like a good parlay, good like, feel good parlay at the beginning. Next down the line we have two Silva parlays. So we got Jean Silva and Natalia Silva, minus 116. The Silva parlay, Jean Silva against Arnold Allen, better striking, more power, can knock him out. Natalia Silva, better striking than Rose, future champ probably. And then minus 116, you get some value. No plus money, but this is a pretty safe parlay. And that's how I like to play, guys. I like to play pretty safe, and you'll see. Um, so that's my other parlay. Three pick parlay. Next coming up, we got Patty, Valdo, and Jean Silva. Again, we're betting on Patty, Valdo, and Jean Silva, all better than their opposition. Plus 155. Petty again can submit. Waldo will probably outbox Derek Lewis and win the decision. And Jean Silva, more power um, than Arlen Allen. Arlen Allen could try and wrestle him, but Arlen Allen is not a wrestler, so um, that should like this should also hit. If the favorites of the day do their job, and we get plus 155, decent value. Next, my last parlay, and this is like a DGen parlay. Put just a little bit of money on this. I just did this for fun. Plus 361, 7 pick parlay. We have Ty Miller, Ateba Gautier, Umar Nurmagomedov, Natalia Silva, Valdo Cortez Acosta, Josh Hawkins, and Jean Silva. Not much to say about this. This is the parlay, basically, tracking the all the favorites that should win, and it's pretty straightforward. So, you know, do it as your own. It is risky, but also put a couple of dollars, like $5 on it. So, plus 361. And one final parlay. These are the two fights that when I bet, I like to bet on all the fights on the card, and these two fights were the most. The odds were so ridiculous, and you can predict what two fights those were. We got Umar and Ateba Gautier. Like the odds on those two fights were insane. So what I did is I managed to get plus 105 on Ateba and Umar. So what I did is I bet Umar by decision and Ateba by knockout. So if you know both of these fighters, that should hit. Ateba is going to knock out, Puliev. It shouldn't be a problem. And then Umar is a decision merchant, so he should win by decision against Davison. So those are my bets. We have a couple of fun ones. I hope you guys enjoy it. Feel free to trail my bets if you like any of them. This will be a fun car. I'm so excited. It's been a minute. Please like, share, and subscribe. It helps the channel. And, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you.